Good morning. Today we're going to do a live broadcast in English. I'm Yvonne Dam of Amaze Yourself Coaching, and I help busy people to live the life they're currently dreaming for, but they don't have time because they're just running around. So I help them to focus on what matters most so they can start truly enjoying their life. And it is my great pleasure that today I'm hosting this interview with Marloes Halmans. It's really exciting. It's going to be awesome, just so you know. Marloes, can you introduce yourself, please?
Yes, well, thank you for inviting me for the interview. I really love sharing what I know, what looks like chaos in my head, and then other people tell me, you're so focused. So I'm curious to find out what your reaction is actually to what I'm going to share in this video, in this interview. So my name is Marloes Halmans, and I am the owner of the Happy at Work agency, a career coaching business, and I am a business coach. I help small business owners and bigger business owners creating the business that truly is in alignment with who they are, with their true strengths and what they really want to bring into the world.
It sounds amazing.
So we have a similar mission. That's what I like about working with you.
Yeah. Well, I followed 2 of your programs, and I really, really enjoyed it, and it made me grow a lot. So I know you've got some great tips prepared. Today is all about focusing on what matters most. So what's the first tip you want to share with us?
Yeah, well, it's maybe the most surprising one, because we all talk about focus, and sometimes I wonder, do we really understand what focus means to us? So if you'd ask me what focus means to me, being focused to me is being in alignment. And by being in alignment, I mean being focused on the things that I love doing most, the things that make me feel alive, the things that make me feel like I'm doing what I came here for. So my first tip, and this is always funny because if you'd ask my husband, and you know Olaf, you know my husband, or my 2 sons, they always say, they frame this first tip as moms being lazy. Because what I do in the morning, I know it looks like being lazy, before I get out of my bed in the morning, I take 5 minutes, maybe 10 minutes, sometimes 15 minutes, maybe even 30 minutes, if that's what it feels like in the morning. Before I jump out of bed, I take time to get focused, to get in alignment before I start my day. So what I think most people do, and I don't know if we have people watching, and no, I don't think we have people watching, but when you're watching this in the replay, think about this for a while. It's 11 a.m. here in the Netherlands. I'm in the Netherlands. And so you've just, got up and just think back, rewind your day and think about what happened this morning the minute you opened your eyes and what did you do. What most people do, what my husband does, is they jump out of bed, they check their emails, they check their smartphones, they rush to the kitchen, they take their kids to school, then they open their social media accounts, they start checking those accounts, then somebody calls, then the neighbor comes in, they have time for a coffee. So what most people do, and I love this idea, this is actually an idea that Tony Robbins offered us in his book, Awaken the Giant Within. Yeah. And he calls this the current of the current events. So what most people do when they literally get out of bed and they jump into this current of current events. So everything that's just landing on your desk and in your smartphone and whatever. So what I love about this idea of just being dragged along in the current of the current events is that you don't even notice that you're doing this. You think you're coming downstairs and just starting your day doing what needs to be done. But what I like for us, for you, is to ease into your day in alignment with what it is that you want to do. Because the problem with the current of the current events is that you don't notice that you're in this current rather than in, a flow that you've decided to step into in the morning. And you usually don't notice that you're in the wrong current until this current ends up in a huge waterfall, and then you start panicking, thinking, oh no, I'm going to go down, I gotta go back. You try to turn it around, you start paddling, you start thinking, what can I do to turn this all around? But it's too late. There is no, and then you're too late. So what you, and I think most of us recognize this, to be honest. I'm a mom, I have 2 kids, I have 2 businesses, I work with a team, I have a husband. All of these things ask my attention and my time, and I know it's the same for you. So unless you decide not to jump into the current of the current events, but bring yourself in alignment first, you'll be, dragged along with everything that lands on your desk during the day. I can go on and on and on about this, Yvonne. I know we only have 20 minutes. So what you want to do is, before you jump out of bed, this is my day, this is my life, this is my 16 hours of being awake, this is my energy. How do I want to feel about today? What is it that I want to do today? So do this before you get out of bed, just to prevent from. I just love this idea. You should read the book. I don't know if you've read it, Yvonne.
No, I haven't read it. It sounds amazing, but it's something I do indeed before I get out of bed. I meditate and I think about what it is I want to do, how I want to feel. It's basically the feeling I want to tune into, and then thinking, no matter what happens today, that's the feeling I want to go to bed with again. It also helps me during the day when something happens that might upset me. It's also a moment to take stock, so to say, and to say, hey, listen, I'm out of that feeling I wished for myself at the beginning of the day, so can I go back? So it's almost like a reset button, which really is to go back to. So, yeah.
Well, can I just say something on this? I don't know if you wanted to check in with the people that are watching. I see we have a few viewers now.
I would love to hear where you're from, because Marloes is currently in Halmans. I'm in London, so it's always good to know where you're from. If you're watching this, please share with us your current location.
Yeah, because I wanted to just, because I think people may be watching now and thinking, oh boy, I have to set my alarm clock to 7. Well, I think 7 is early, sorry. So most people probably don't, but I have to meditate or have to come up with some sort of ritual to start my day being all focused and in alignment. And then, because people ask me a lot, how often do you meditate? How do you meditate? And I say, I don't meditate. I just lay in bed looking lazy. That's what it looks like. It's just, opening your eyes and it's just this slowing down before you start to just rush into the day. So you don't have to meditate. And I think some people may be watching thinking, oh, I don't have to meditate. Just have to
be.
Take a bit longer before you get up. Hi, Saskia. Someone's in Scharen, she says.
Yeah, in Alkmaar. Yeah. So that's great.
I was actually trying to check on your Facebook. See, I'm going to share this with my group if you have a second.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah, because I see it only just now shows up on your Facebook page.
Really? Oh, maybe it needs a couple of minutes. So on that meditation, I think I spoke to a friend earlier, and she was like, I told her the same, I meditate, and she goes like, well, meditating is so difficult. And I said, well, basically all I do is I focus on my breathing. And that for me is already meditating. And you're right, whether it's no matter how you want to call it, I don't do any difficult things with listening or any, just be and just focus, and that's basically it. But for me, that's already meditating. Nothing fancy. Yeah.
Right.
So I think we've got a couple of more viewers. So if you're just joining, welcome. Today is an interview with Marloes Halmans, and she is sharing some tips on how to focus on what matters most. The first tip she shared was about focus, which was really interesting. And the best way to start your day is just tuning in on the feeling you want to have during the rest of the day. So if you're watching, please let us know where you're from and whether you have any questions, because we love questions. Right. Any further tips, Mark?
Okay, I was just trying to put my earphones on because they're working on something, but it doesn't work. Okay. Did you ask about my second tip? Because I didn't hear what you said. Okay. Yeah, I was wondering, there's 4 live viewers, so I'd love for you to respond. Just give us some feedback on this. How many of you, or just write yes, do you have a to-do list? Do you work with a to-do list? Now, I know there's some delay in getting the responses in, so we'll wait. We'll give you some time. Do you have a to-do list? Maybe it's even at your desk right now. Maybe you're even looking at your to-do list right now.
I was going to say, stressing while you're at this. Oh, I've got so much to do. It's on my list. Yeah. And I think nobody is going to say yes now.
Because they think there's something going wrong with this to-do. She's going to say something about this to-do list. Okay, let me say, if you have a to-do list, let me say you're absolutely normal. There's nothing wrong with you. You're normal. So maybe now you're okay typing yes. Okay, I have a to-do list in my head, is what Saskia says. Okay. The thing with to-do lists, I don't have a to-do list. And you know this, Yvonne, because we're working together. But so you're normal when you do have a to-do list. Because the reason we love to-do lists so much is because we humans love the feeling of accomplishment. We just love to tick the boxes and think we're doing such a great job. We love going home at the end of the day and telling our husband, you got a shitload done at work today. I checked 17 boxes. And it's okay. We love that. So it helps us just to see progression and results and, thinking we're doing a great job. Yeah. The problem with to-do lists is, and if you're just checking in, then you may want to rewind and in the replay hear what I said about the first thing that I shared. Because the problem with to-do lists is, I don't know, Saskia, you have it in your head, but if you write it down, or the people that said yes, look at your to-do list. The problem with to-do lists is that they're usually just a download of the chaos in your head. It is usually just the same thing, jumping up in the morning, think, oh my God, I got so much stuff to do today. And then you take this, it's funny because actually my assistant sent me a present yesterday, and it was one of those lovely notebooks with pre-printed boxes. And so I don't know what message she was trying to get out to me. I'll give her a call in a second. But, so what we usually do is get one of those, we buy them at the HEMA here in the Netherlands. Yeah. And then we start, writing basically just writing all the chaos in our head down, and usually in a very random order. So the problem with to-do lists is they're managing the current events. Because when you open your social media and you see something, or you're opening your email and you see someone asking you something, you're writing down on your to-do list, answer that email, right? Calling that person back that sent me a WhatsApp message saying, can you give me a call today? Isn't that what's happening? I'd really love to hear your thoughts on this.
Yeah.
It's always nice when I start
things. So can you rephrase your question one more time so that everybody's got it and they can respond to it?
Look at your to-do list right now. I'm going to drive this point home in a minute. Look at your to-do list right now and check for yourself. Is it just all the stuff that's in your inbox and on your social media and all the chaos in your head that you've just put down to paper in a very random order? You haven't really thought about, is this really what I need to be doing today? I'd really love to hear that from you, if that's what's happening. It's just a download, yeah. It's such a shame that these comments take a while to show for us, so we have no idea what you're saying. But hello and good morning. We have 11 viewers, live viewers. Great. Okay, maybe I should just continue, Yvonne. What do you think?
Yeah. I think so, but meanwhile, if you want to respond, please do, because we love to hear your feedback or your questions, or we love to hear how your to-do list is organized. If you have one right now, tell us whether it's indeed what's in your mind that's a download, or whether it's in a specific order. Okay.
Yeah, because what we do when we make our to-do lists in this way, we're managing the current events. What I love most for you, all of you watching, is that you take a step back. You don't take a step back when you just write your to-do list. When you don't have a to-do list, my table here is just totally empty. So what you do when you don't have a to-do list, you have nothing to do. Basically, at least that's the feeling that you have. So the first question you get is, okay, what am I going to do now? What's the first thing that I need to be doing right now? And you sort of just have to think about, what is it that I want to accomplish today? So what you want to do, you want to take a step back. And this is what I do every day because I don't have a to-do list. I think about, what is my higher mission? You really want to run your business or do your job or even run your family life based on your higher mission of what you want to achieve in your life and what matters to you. If you don't know what that higher vision of your life is or what this higher mission for you is, you really want to take a moment. If you're rewatching, if you're watching this in the review, just pause this video and just think about that for a while. What is it that I'm doing? And you want to look at each thing. If I'm sorry, I was distracted by the comments.
Yeah, but I left it away. Yeah, sorry.
So you want to think about your higher mission, and then you want to think about all the chaos, because you still have the chaos of all of these random tasks that are in your head. And then you want to think, for each task, and even you can do this with your to-do list, is this task contributing to my higher mission? Is this task contributing to the life that I'm trying to create? And the second question you want to ask, if it's a no, then why is it on your list? What is it doing on your list if it's a no? Find the space to say no to that. Work with people that you can say no to, or whatever. Do what you need to do to just eliminate everything from your to-do list that's not contributing to your higher mission. And if you're in a job, if you work for an organization, you'll have a lot of stuff on your to-do list that's not contributing to what you're accountable for. Yeah. So you really want to be very, very selective on what you allow to land on your desk. And the second thing you want to do is looking at this task and how you defined it. Is this the most impactful thing that I can do right now? I'll be very honest with you, and it's kind of sensitive, so I cannot really share all the details about it. But I had a phone call scheduled in my calendar at 10. I was supposed to call someone, and then it was 10 minutes to 10, and I thought, it doesn't feel right to call this person. But it's in my calendar, so okay. So I put it in my calendar at some point that I thought it would be very wise to call this person on this specific day. But then I thought, you always want to think about what this specific task is doing for you and your business and your higher mission. And just by stepping back and thinking about, why does this make me feel bad? What's happening? I realized that what we were going to discuss in the call is actually too soon in terms of where my business is going. So I can have the call now. I'll waste her hour. I'll waste my hour, because in a few weeks, it will be a much more valuable, fruitful conversation. So unless you allow yourself the freedom to, just stay in alignment. This is the first thing that I mentioned.
Yeah.
And unless you do that, you'll still be, it was a current event. From the perspective of this morning, the 10 a.m. phone call turned into a current event that I wasn't really willing to have on this day. So think about, does every task that's on your list or in your head, does it contribute to your higher mission? And is it the most impactful thing to do now? That's what you want to think about.
I mean, I love this tip, so to say. It's one of my fundamentals in my Embrace Life training. What I find is that a lot of people experience stress because they're working on the things that don't really help them. Or even worse, there are things that are not their own things. It's something else asking them, but it's not contributing to what they want to achieve. Whether it's as an employee, because then you also have target set, whether it's as an entrepreneur, because you've got your goal, but still you got a lot of requests coming in and things you think you need to attend to. Whereas if you keep going back to what I really want, then it's actually quite easy to say yes to the right things and to get involved with the right things and to let all the rest actually pass by. It's that's the way because I have a to-do list. It's actually quite funny. It's right here. You can see, and I love to scratch it whenever I've done it. But I start my to-do list with what is it I want to achieve? What is it I wanted to do today? And that's the way I build up my to-do list. Yeah.
You can just try. It's okay to work with a to-do list. I think most people would go crazy if they wouldn't. But then prioritize and don't just randomly follow it or take the easy tasks first. So just to be able to check the box. Wow. You really want to have this alignment and think about what am I doing with my time. And the funny thing that you talk about this employment environment, because I've been in employment jobs, of course, not very long, but and I always thought it was so funny. And I really, if you're watching this and you're employed somewhere and you're going crazy in your organization, the funny thing is that most people that are at your desk and put all this junk on your desk, just remember this next time this happens. Most of those people are just in the middle of the current events. It's usually people that are not focused at all, and they're just dumping their shit on your desk, hoping that you'll solve it, but they're not focused at all. So you're actually, if you'd help them, you would actually not help them because you wouldn't, help them see that they're not working on the right things. So real leadership to me means, telling your boss even, I don't think we're doing the right thing here. So I'm okay if you're doing this, but if you don't mind, I'd rather not spend my time on this. I know it takes some courage, but
I was going to say, it's depending on the tone you use as well.
Yeah.
I just want to tune in because we got a question from Saskia, and I just want to see whether it's been answered now. I wonder how to keep your focus on my calling when I am a startup.
Yeah. When you're just starting out, Saskia, I totally understand this. You should just share every bit of money that you can get in, because when you're just starting out, you need to make money, and it is amazing when you actually get clients. The first client is always the most difficult to get. So if you're just starting out and you have a client, yay for you. I mean, that's truly a moment to celebrate. And you don't necessarily want to be too picky in the beginning. What you want to do is get this focus. So it is okay to do all kinds of different assignments just to start off and, just jumpstart your business. But then let these assignments help you in getting even clearer on the focus that you want to have in your business. So, because most people need the money when they start out, so they don't have the space to be very picky on what to say yes and no to. But I think you can find a nice balance. And what I always say is what you want to do is the things that you show, so your branding should be focused on attracting the clients that bring you the assignments that you really want to do. So you can take on the assignments that you don't really like so much, but then don't tweet about it. Don't put it on Instagram. Don't share it too much. Do share the assignments that you really love doing. So that will give us the idea of, oh, she's only working on those great assignments, and it will build your brand in a much faster way. But you can help all these assignments in discerning, why do I not like them, or why do I like them, and how do they do or do they not contribute to my bigger mission or my calling? So I don't know if this helps at all. So don't be too harsh on yourself about taking on, assignments you don't really like and that are not very much in alignment, because, you need the money. We're more successful, we're more confident if we don't have stress about money. Stressing about money is the biggest, It's the biggest, the thing that's holding us back the most. It's what disturbs being, a joyful entrepreneur the most. So you don't want to get into that position. Don't know if it helps. Let me know.
Yeah. Okay. So if anybody else has got a question for Marloes, please let us know and share them, or any thoughts. And Saskia's coming back. Excellent. So the question is answered. So that's lovely, Saskia. Any further questions, let us know.
Yeah.
And with that, I think, Marloes, we're going to go to your third tip.
Yeah. So I have no clue as to who is watching and if we're all women here. I think most of us are women. So I've got some bad news for us, ladies, because as much as we'd like to think we can, we really suck at multitasking. We really do. So research has shown this over and over again. So, we like to say to the male part of the world that we're so good at multitasking. We get so much more done, but we are not able to manage two tasks at the same time and do them effectively. So what my third, tip is how I work, and you know this, Yvonne, is that I allow myself to just do one thing. So if you'd be here in my room right now, I work from my kitchen. It's also funny to say I run my six-figure business from my kitchen table, but there's nothing on this table except my computer and a glass of water and a pen and a piece of paper, because I get totally distracted if I have to do 60 other things at the same time. So what I'd love for you is to experience the joy of the clarity and the focus and the ease you get just by allowing yourself to do one thing. I don't know if does anyone have kids or a husband or both? Then you probably recognize this. My boys, we have this magazine, I think it's worldwide. It's called the Donald Duck, the Disney thing. It's a magazine for kids. So when they read, and we have like 700 of these in the house, so they're always in their Donald Ducks reading. If I would go up to them and say, boys, go get your sports gear out of your bags and put them in the washing machine, they won't respond. If I'd say, have you finished your drink? It's in the kitchen. Come down and finish it. They won't respond. If I would say, would you like an ice cream? They'll jump up. It's like the same with husbands. I don't know if I can say this, but like husbands watching a ball game, having a beer, and you go, honey, did you call your mom about we're supposed to meet her up this weekend? He's not going to reply. If you say, oh, come on, honey, let's have some sex, he'll jump up and he'll be all ears for you. But this is the same secludedness, that children have and most husbands have. I mean, my husband does, and it's like they're not here. It's you can say whatever you want. You put the house on fire, and then they won't even notice. But it's this type of super focusedness that I would love for you to experience. And most women don't do that. So some of you are checking WhatsApp messages right now. Some of you are checking email right now, or writing a shopping list right now. So you're either checking out of this live webinar or you're writing your shopping list, because you're going to be at the Albert Heijn in 10 minutes and forgetting the sugar because you've been trying to watch this and trying to write down your grocery shopping list. So it just doesn't work. So what helps me being extremely effective is that I just, and my husband finds this really annoying, so that makes us even. I'm not here. When I'm working on something, my smartphone is on airplane mode. If it's a writing thing, my laptop is closed. I tell the family, everyone around me, don't come interrupt me. And it makes for super fast and effective progress that I really want you to experience. Just try this. If there's one thing you're taking away from this Facebook Live, let it be this. Just allow yourself to do one thing. And I'd be interested to hear from you how you experience this when you do this, because most of us never do this. And you'll feel clarity, you'll feel joy, you'll feel you're getting so much more done. So please just try this. It's very important.
It would be good to hear some experience of people, whether they sometimes have the focus power, and how they feel, and do they switch off their phones. I think that's the biggest distraction these days. Do you put it on airplane mode, or are you switching it off? How do you deal with the distractions, and how do you get super focused? But more importantly, how do you feel when you get super focused? I know I do it, and it's those moments I really feel in flow. And I surprise myself by the amount of work I get done by just being in the moment, just going for that one thing. and nothing else.
Yeah.
So I would love to hear some of the viewers now, whether it's something they do on a daily basis or something they aim to work on. Would be great to hear some comments. I love your example, by the way. I was thinking when you said, my husband, it can't be an ice cream, it has to be something else.
What?
When you gave your example of your boys and that they would wake up from their reading by hearing about an ice cream, and then you started your example about your husband, I thought he's not going to be woken up by an ice cream. It has to be something else. And it was. Yeah.
But it's more than just this one example. This was just, whatever.
Yeah.
Music usually gets him out of his seat as well. But I was trying to check your Facebook page and see, because I've gotten some messages here. I'm checking them now. I'm super focused.
Oh, right. Excellent. Okay.
Yeah. People couldn't find the live stream. That's what they said.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, you're totally right, ladies. Merel.
Okay. Excellent to hear. Okay. Are there any final thoughts from your side, Marloes, you want to share with us?
The one final thought, maybe. Merel says she recognizes this. We're not good at multitasking. I think the reason that most people don't single task, I don't know if that's a word of saying, is because you're so stressed about not getting all the rest of it done. I think that's one of the main things. And another, just the final golden tip that I'd like to share is, the minute you stop wasting time and energy on stressing out about not having enough time and energy about getting everything done, you'll save about 50 minutes a day, maybe. If you're really bad at this, you'll probably save about an hour a day. So that's maybe the final thought to conclude with. Okay. It's what I see happening all the time.
Yeah, it's very true. I think there's no more headspace because there are too many worries about how to get it all done. And whether if you just start with it and being super focused, you most likely already have it done by the time you stop worrying.
Worrying about it, right. That's why I never have a watch. And that's why the retreats I do with clients, they always have the feeling, we only do them for 4 days, and they have the feeling they've been there for 2 weeks. Like we've doubled the time. And it's because you stop worrying about not having enough time. And you eliminate all the distractions. And you can do this today. You don't have to go on a retreat. Because then you say, oh, I have to sort of put myself, so we say huisje op de hei in Dutch, like I have to go to some remote area off the grid where nobody can disturb me, and that's when I can focus on what I want to do. It's bullshit. You can just do it now in your home or in your office. Yeah.
Excellent. Great tip.
I never stop talking. Yvonne knows this, so I'll stop talking.
Well, I was actually we're quite good in time, so that's excellent.
Really?
Yes, we are. So it's only 4 minutes past. So I gave you a bit more because I thought that would be good. Hold on, because we get another comment. I experienced that worrying about the stuff I should do takes so much more time and stress than actually do it. That's from Marije. Yeah. Yeah, so I think that illustrates your comment you just gave. Sorry, let me just finish with Marije. I think it illustrates the comments you just made, Marloes, about stop worrying and start doing. Because if you worry too much, it could even save you up to an hour a day. And that's a very easy win, I would say. Yeah. And then Saskia gave another comment. I wonder what task you should focus on being a startup and how you do free time, but I think it is in another webinar.
I don't know if I understand the question.
I think the question is, I think it's multiple questions. So the first one is, when you're a startup, what should you start focusing on? First question. And the second one is, how do I free up time to focus on that one point I should be focusing on?
Oh, you're so analytical, Yvonne. That's what I love about you. I would always, being a startup, I would always focusing on getting my message out. You don't have a business if you don't have paying clients. Don't worry about your website being fancy. Don't worry about having the right business cards. Don't worry about looking good in the pictures that you share, or don't worry about the details in your Facebook posts. I think you should lose a bit of that perfectionism in order to get it out, because I see many starting entrepreneurs that are just starting out that want, they have this example that's usually a business coach that they follow, and then they think, oh boy, that looks so organized and perfect, and oh wow, so my things that I'm sharing with the world need to be at this level. But you're usually looking at someone that's very experienced, that's been in business for a while. So don't set the example of someone that's 10 years ahead of you. Take someone that's a year ahead of you and set their way of doing things. If you want to have a role model and compare yourself to others, what we're always doing, then take someone that's closer to where you are right now. And then this is really the mantra you want. Done is better than perfect. So if you want it to be perfect, you'll never get it out to the world, and you'll never get your first client. So maybe, I don't know if this helps. Especially when you're starting out. You just want to get your work in the world, and you want people to know you're here.
And Saskia is also asking how to have enough free time. Saskia, one of the things I want to let you know, on Monday, Manic Monday, I always share time-saving tips, because we all struggle with the same thing. We've got 24 hours in a day. And like yourself, maybe you're still working as employee, but already working on your startup, and then perhaps have family, kids. We all have a very busy life. So I'm starting to share these time-saving tips so you can be very effective at work, leaving you more time to focus on what matters to you most. And if that's currently your startup, that's the way you free up time to go for that. So I invite you to keep an eye out on my Amaze Yourself Facebook page or my LinkedIn, because they're great tips. You want to say anything around the topic, Marloes?
I think we've said a lot in this live, whatever we call this, be live thing.
Yeah.
And just claim your time. That's another thing. Just if your wish is, there's always a difference between what we say we want and do and what we actually do. Yeah. So if you say you want more free time, then claim your free time. Shut down your computer, because you usually don't do it because you think you need to do so much because nothing's going to happen if you don't. And that's all in your head. So just control your thoughts and you control your life. Just claim the time. And if your husband says, can you do this? No, I cannot do that for you right now. You don't even have to give an excuse.
No.
Say no.
There's one thing I want to share, and I actually think this is quite nice to tie into Saskia's question as well. I developed an online training, which is not going to cost you anything else than 10 minutes for 4 days in a row, but it's going to give you at least 60 minutes time gain for a day. And it's a training which is helping you to create more time, so you can actually focus on your startup, or you can focus on spending time with your family and your friends. If you register now, we're going to start on the 23rd of October. It's going to be amazing. I'm so excited. I can't hardly wait. So it's 2 more weeks. So register. I will also share with you the Dutch link if you prefer to follow it in Dutch. But it's coming up, and it's going to be a great help for you to get some free time and for you to start focusing on what really matters to you. So let me just quickly type it in, and then I think it is time for us.
Yeah.
Yeah. There we go. Yeah. So, Marloes,
Cool.
Thank you very much for these amazing tips you shared with us. I think they were very inspiring, and I like the fact that most likely a lot of people now have to think differently about normal tasks, because it's actually your daily tasks that really make your world. And even though they might be quite small, they have a huge impact. Like you said in the beginning, jumping straight out of bed and you know, mindlessly scrolling through your phone, or maybe starting your day with a purpose. Which one's going to make a huge difference? It might be only 5 minutes, but still it's going to set your day up for success, or maybe for following the current, like you said.
Yeah. Right.
So thank you for being here. I would love all of you, if you're struggling with your time, to register for the great online training that's coming to save you time, and would love to see you in 2 weeks. Thank you.